I'm always thinking about ways how I can say what I'm trying to say without getting flagged. It's a very difficult thing for me to speak my mind about a lot of these stories or even just to read the details without having my videos demonetized. I'm going to just tell y'all that's a bit disheartening, but at the same time, my resolve comes from when we see people get maximum time in prison, get caught, we expose these stories, people share them. Every once in a while, the stories will go viral. We need your help. Make sure you share these stories in your true crime groups so we can get these type of stories out there in front of people and really, really start making progress with these things, okay? I'm going to just tell y'all this before I get too political or anything. I hate to see that our own worst enemy as black people is people that look just like us. When we're constantly pointing the finger at everybody else, it seems like the ones who are doing the worst things to us are people that look just like us. This story is a clear example of that. And don't think that I'm going to let the mother get away with it either, because I do have some thoughts and feelings about that. So before we get into the details, y'all might want to put your big girl panties on and your big boy drawers. Let's go. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. And for those who understand, I'm just telling the truth. I am grateful. Not everybody sees it that way. I'm getting this story from AOL.com. It was simple. It was right to the point. So thank you for the article. Baton Rouge, Louisiana. New Orleans is one of my favorite places to visit, but I have to give y'all an L in that area in the BR. 3 suspects, and it's actually a total of 4, but 3 suspects were arrested, and the other one is wanted after a boy was killed in a targeted shooting in November. So that's the point that I need to reiterate, and that's a lot of what y'all need to know with this story. It was a targeted shooting. They shot up this car. The person in the car was the target, from what I understand. Children were hit. 1 boy died. 4 black men are going to be held responsible for committing this heinous act. And I actually have some theories. If y'all don't like theories, this might not be the video for you. If y'all just want to hear me read the news, this ain't a goddamn news station. You might want to go somewhere else. If y'all got thin skin, if you touch it, you'll probably bleed to death. This might not be the channel for you. For everybody else, Dylan Daniels, and they spelled his name D-I-E-L-L-O-N, Daniels. Why they spell his name that oddly is beyond me. But handsome young man right here. He was 8 years old, and he died from his injuries after a shooting on Swan Avenue on November the 27th. Police say a mother and her 5 children were hit by gunfire multiple times during the drive-by. And let me also say this. I think that I heard somebody in a video say that she was pregnant and she just gave birth to another kid. Yes, I do think I need to say that again. Thank you, because you know I like to repeat myself. That's just what I do. Police say a mother and her 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 children. And I think that she was pregnant and just recently gave birth to a 6th child, if I understand correctly, but it might be 5 total with the newborn. But I think that she just gave birth to a 6th, because they said that as one son died, she gave birth to another. That's where I'm getting this from. Oh, Lord. I should have bought a Honda. We're going to talk about that picture. I covered up all the faces of the kids that are not deceased. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7. I think she got more kids than what they're claiming on here. So, an individual by the name of Yancey Gerald, 23 years old, was arrested Thursday, and Tremel Harris, 27 years old. Let me get them thugs pictures up on the screen. I got a lot of pictures of the baby boy. Let me see if I can get the thugs on the screen. I only got a couple pictures of them. Here we go. Tremel Harris, 27 years old, was arrested Friday. Both suspects were charged with 5 counts of attempted first-degree murder and 1 count each of first-degree murder, illegal use of weapons, or dangerous instrumentalities. Instrumentalities. When have you ever heard a word like that? Very, very rare. Where's the father's look? I want y'all to tell me. You said she has 8 children? That's what I thought. I want y'all to tell me why y'all believe that 4 men would target her. Because I have a lot of theories, but I'm going to touch on a couple of them. I have a couple theories. Both suspects were charged with 5 counts of attempted first-degree murder and 1 count each of first-degree murder, illegal use of a weapon, or dangerous instrumentalities and obstruction of justice. Kendrick Prophet, 22 years old. Let me see if I can go back for a second. There we go. So, Kendrick is the big-faced dude. Okay? He's 22 years old, was the first suspect arrested on December 10th. He was charged with 5 counts of attempted first-degree murder and 1 count each of first-degree murder, illegal use of a weapon, and obstruction of justice earlier this week. The East Baton Rouge District Attorney's Office said Prophet is being held without bond on all charges. A suspect by the name of Roger Parker, who's 19 years old, which is the guy over there on the far right-hand side of the screen, he remains at large, so hopefully they will catch him as well. All 4 suspects have ties to one of our violent street groups, and that it appears that they were trying to target another member of the violent street group. Let me say it again. All 4 suspects have ties to one of our violent street groups. Street gangs is what it sounds like. And that it appears that they were trying to target another member of the violent street group, Baton Rouge Police Chief Thomas Moore said on Friday. Arrest documents say video surveillance showed a dark-colored car involved in the shooting. Crime Stoppers tips led to the car's discovery in Gonzales, and I know where Gonzales is. I know where Gonzales, Louisiana is because there was a biker event that happened out there once. Let me say hello to my friend, the Pretty Phoenix. Make sure y'all go subscribe. What up, grand evening and blessings, bro. Thank you very much for being here. If you would, copy the link to your channel and post it in there so we can come over there and subscribe to you. I know we ain't got a lot of people here right now, but hopefully we'll get some more folks over here. I know it's a little bit slow right now. We only got 200 in the building. Hopefully, if y'all keep hitting that thumbs up, we can get some more people to show up. We need to be about 800 to 1,000 deep right now. We're missing a lot of people. But shout out to Phoenix and shout out to my guy LA as well. Any other channel members or content creators, if y'all have y'all links, if y'all are here, please post the links to your channel so we can find you and subscribe. Now again, let's keep going. In Gonzales, Texas, or I said Texas, Louisiana, excuse me. Baton Rouge detectives worked with Gonzales police to execute a December 2nd search warrant at a home where the car was found. Investigators found Gerald's name on documents during a search of the car on December 3rd. Other suspects were identified after police obtained video surveillance on December 9th, showing the car on Winborn Avenue before and after the shooting, arrest documents said. Anyone with information about the shooting or the whereabouts of the 2 wanted suspects is urged to call Crime Stoppers at 225-344-7867. Okay, let me make sure I got all of that. That is the end of that information. So here's the thing. They have a GoFundMe up for this young man. And I don't have a problem with GoFundMe. I want y'all to understand what my issue is with GoFundMe. Where's the GoFundMe at? Where is it at? Or do they have a GoFundMe app? I thought that I could have swore they did. Am I just missing it? I could have swore there was a GoFundMe. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Hold on, y'all. Give me a second. Let me see if I can find that GoFundMe. We're doing this live, so Y'all got to bear with me a second. Thank you, Mary McCove. Rejoined on your channel membership. So if you listen to the sound of my voice, thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. GoFundMe. Fund me. Cortland Daniels. That's what I thought. Like, how did I not save this? It's right here. What the hell? I know I saved this. Okay, I knew I wasn't tripping. There is a GoFundMe, so let me bring it up on the screen. And I want to show you guys something. This is the GoFundMe. They asked for a goal of $15,000, and they ended up raising more than their goal. And I'm okay with that. If you set a lower goal and people want to go above and beyond that, I actually prefer it to be that way rather than people asking for an inordinate amount of money. So she asked for $15,000. They raised $37,540 as of 3 days ago. And she gives a little bit of the story here. Let me see. Gun violence is thug violence, but it is what it is. Let me see. Continue to pray for my family as we lay Dylan to rest. The road will not be easy. Here we go. Jesus freaking Christ. Look at this. I am a single mother of 8 beautiful kids. So why the hell did the news say 5 kids when these son of a guns had to have known that the GoFundMe was out there? Why would you say 5 kids unless there was only 5 kids in the car and that was all you knew about? She herself is saying, I am a single mother, not a married mother, not in a relationship, single mother of 8 beautiful kids that I love and cherish until death. Eight kids. Can somebody please type in the hashtag, and I know this is going to hurt, hashtag babies for benefits. You cannot tell me there is a good reason to have that many children out of wedlock, number one, when you don't have a stable father in any of their lives, when you refer to yourself as a single mom. Maybe to some of your kids, you might be a single mom, but to all of them, I find that hard to believe. With 8 kids, I think that if you didn't do things right, at some point you would have gotten it right, especially if to the tune of getting pregnant 8 different damn times, unless you just like being pregnant. I don't understand that. It's not a good thing to have that many children, bringing that many children into this world with no stable environment. For at least 8 years, you have spent your life pregnant. That is excessive. Here's the thing also, when people talk about, well, Just Jay, it's her body, it's her choice. She can have as many kids as she wants. How many people believe that? You said, hold it in. I'm not going to hold it in. Nope. I got a lot to talk about. I got a whole lot to talk about. Her body, her choice. If that's the case, then why is it that it's her body, her choice, but we are supposed to be picking up the bill for her choices, her kids, her responsibilities, her household bills, her burial? Everybody follow me so far? Her body, her choice. But the public society has to take care of the bill for your kids, whether it be to the tune of Section 8, food stamps and housing, maybe car vouchers, but also potentially trying to attach child support to not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, but 8 kids. What do you do for a living? Ladies and gentlemen, I know people who make $300,000 and $400,000, $200,000 a year that have trouble taking care of one child. Let alone two, let alone three, let alone four, let alone five, and you add three more on top of that. I think every responsible parent should know after you have one kid, maybe even two, if you just want to just throw a bonus one in there. I can speak on behalf of that, and I realized that me, after two kids, I said, whoa, Just Jay, whoa, Nelly, whoa. Do you think you can afford these damn kids? And you know what I had to say? I can't. I did, but I barely couldn't. I remember my life was almost ruined. My life was almost ruined when child support finally started to hit my check, when my baby mamas put child support on me. It's just a fact of life. But you know what I did? I said, I'm going to find a way to make it through this and do what I have to do as a man and as a father. But thank goodness that I am a man that actually tries to take care of his responsibilities. I don't do it perfect. I'm not great at what I do, but I'm at the point where my kids are basically almost grown. So I'm thankful to finally kind of be over that hump, and then we can get to the next part of life with them being adults. Okay? Now, let's also think about this. For those who don't know about the violence rate in Baton Rouge, it is high, right? It is very high. It hasn't really gotten any better. I know you guys heard about the murder capital of the world, New Orleans. Well, New Orleans and Baton Rouge really aren't that far from each other. I've been to both. And I'm going to tell you, it is not a thriving community. It is not like it's tall skyscrapers, big, beautiful houses. There's some. But I'm saying there's a lot of people that are struggling. And I would have to think that if you have 8 kids, most of your finances, if not all of your finances, are probably diverted into your kids and just barely scraping by. However, you're doing that. Here's another thing about incentivizing bad behavior. I think that if you have more kids, and there should be a cap. There should be a cap on how many kids you have when the help should stop, when child support should stop, when housing Section 8 food stamps should stop. If they say, you know what, you got 3 kids and we're going to cut you off like they do in China and Japan and stuff like that. They tell you can only have so many kids. And you know what? I think that's a good thing in order to make us more responsible, right? Take care of what you have first. 3 human beings is a lot to take care of. And if you're talking about being single, then where is your help coming from? And you would have had to have known if the first man wasn't there, if the second man wasn't there, if the third man wasn't there, if the fourth man wasn't there. What is the definition of insanity? If somebody can remind me, if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Isn't that what they call insanity? So is it safe to say that maybe this mother is insane? And here's the thing. We haven't even got to the reason why they shot her in the first goddamn place. My old friend is in the building, y'all. Longtime friend, the church lady. I see you. What's up, church lady? I remember you do live in Louisiana. I remember that. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Here's my thing, what I was thinking at first. They're saying that this had to do with street gang involvement. Is it possible that she was a part of a gang, knowing the violent culture that exists in Louisiana in certain areas? Possibly. I don't put that past, especially seeing the amount of women that I know that are not only are in gangs, but they do drill music and they do this fight getting crunk and just murderous type music. Women have adopted that culture from black men. The violent culture, they've adopted that from black men, and you see a lot of women out here living that culture. I wouldn't put it past that it could just be that simple. They either were ops of each other, or maybe it was something that she did and they were mad, but that's not even why I think that they did this. Because for four men to throw away their lives, I would have to think this is a little more personal. I thought about this, with her having 8 kids. Do y'all think, some of y'all are saying it could be drug related? Now, I can see that. You know what? I might go with that, because I was actually going to say I thought that these 4 men right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, I was going to say these might be her baby daddies. It's a possibility that each one of them could have had 2 kids by her, and everybody just plugging the same chick. She giving it up and they plugging. But you actually bring up a very interesting point. You said selling. Let's talk about this selling. Because for a person to have that many kids and to dress that well, unless you are a freaking millionaire or a successful entrepreneur, which I'm not going to put it past her, I just don't think it's likely. I want y'all to look at this. These are some of her kids. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, not including the 8th child that she just gave birth to. And how were they dressed? The boys are dressed with the same outfits. I can tell y'all from being a father and a Jordan fanatic, those shoes are about $200 a piece just for the shoes, and that is if those shoes are authentic. But you know that black people don't like to wear nothing fake. I'm assuming that these shoes are real. Why am I bringing this up? Because this heifer had a goddamn GoFundMe up. That's why I'm bringing it up. For anybody, look, y'all don't believe me? Y'all don't believe she put up a GoFundMe? Let's bring that up again. Spending all this money on what you want, but won't spend the money on what you need. Hello. Message. She's asking for $15,000. I want to show y'all, and this is the GoFundMe that somebody put up on her behalf. Asking for $15,000, 200, 400, 600, 800, 1,000, 200, 400 for those white shoes. They're about 200 also. Plus the outfits. That's about what, $3,000 in outfits? In one picture. She has a number of pictures on her Facebook page, and she spares no expense when it comes to making her kids dress very fancy. Why am I saying that? Because if you are destitute for funds, what you don't do is you don't spend money on the stuff that you want and neglect the things that you need. To have that many children, to live in a state that is known for having a high murder rate, and for even maybe for you to be participating in an illicit lifestyle, the least you should probably be doing is paying for the Gerber Life insurance program, and you should have had life insurance on you and all your kids. Now, do y'all think that with her spending $1,000 a month in outfits and Jordans for her kids, couldn't she at least have some insurance? You said so she didn't have insurance on the kids? Who does that? You said who does that? Well, I know a lot of black people that do that. I know y'all be like, well, why don't you get on the white people? White people do it too. Well, look, I'm not part of the white community. I've never been white, and I ain't never had a white girlfriend long enough to know what white people do. Because guess what? When I got me a white girlfriend, black people made sure, oh, yeah, we got to get her up out of here, man. We got to get her up out of here. I'm being facetious. But my point about that is if you got money enough to spend $1,000, which is a lot, for just pictures and outfits, school outfits, whatever it is, then how can you not afford life insurance? You want to know why I believe that she was able to have that type of money? Somebody in the chat said, no, what if she's a drug dealer? And guess what? For these 4 men to go that far out of their way to commit a murder on a mother and half of her kids, that sounds like a drug deal going bad, does it not? You know how they had them songs, I ran off from the plug? They think that stuff is cute. Taking people's drugs, making the money, and then won't come give them the money back that they owe for those drugs in debt, drug debts. Yes. Drug dealers usually dress fancy and extraordinate and live in the hood. Is it possible that she could have been a drug dealer, a part of a gang, and this is what it was? She owed a debt and didn't pay it? I believe that's probably actually what happened, rather than 4 of her baby daddies just got mad and decided to take her off this earth for child support. But I digress. Here's the fair usage, and then we'll listen to the news videos. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. If you guys would do me a favor and please click that thumbs up. I wonder how many black people have already unsubscribed from my channel just from what I just said, because I'm speaking the truth. You might not like it, but it's the damn truth, right? Now, do me a favor and please hit that thumbs up and share this video so more people can see it. And let's make these stories go viral, or y'all tell me what really happened. What did she really die over?
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. First on News 2 at 6 o'clock, Baton Rouge police arrested 3 men for the murder of 8-year-old Dylan Daniels. Police say Daniels was one of 5 children in a car that Kendrick Prophet, Yancey Gerald Jr., Tramell Harris, and Roger Parker opened fire on last month. Parker remains at large at this hour. The investigative unit and Bess Casserly with details on BRPD's extensive search for these suspects.
Sylvia, a couple hours after their press conference, U.S. Marshals took Tramell Harris into custody. This afternoon, Yancey Gerald Jr. made his first appearance in court, where Commissioner Corey Tozan decided to hold him without bond.
These 4 men have been or will be charged with the murder of 8-year-old Dylan Daniels and the attempted murder of 5 others.
They're all being charged with the same crime because we have enough evidence to show that they were all part of the crime.
Kendrick Prophet arrested Tuesday, and today Baton Rouge police announced Yancey Gerald Jr. and Tramell Harris have also been booked. But one suspect remains at large, 19-year-old Roger Parker.
I can confirm that in our attempts to effect arrest warrants, that 2 locations were hit by Baton Rouge Police Department SWAT, 8 locations by our Violent Criminal Apprehension Team, or VCAT, along with our partners with the U.S. Marshals Task Force, and 1 location with the assistance from Gonzales Police Department.
The WBRZ investigative unit was there on Thursday for one of those attempts to apprehend Harris. Half a dozen or so unmarked units swarming this auto shop off of Choctaw, coming up empty-handed and moving on to the next location. All 4 suspects have relatively minor and non-violent criminal histories. Police Chief TJ Morse with a direct message to Rogers and Harris, which he made this morning before Harris was arrested.
To the suspects, you know we have already hit a dozen locations. We are not going to stop looking for you with our state and federal partners. Wherever you try to go, we will continue to look for you and we will find you.
And for anyone who may...
Well, today, an 8-year-old Dylan Daniels was laid to rest after he was killed in a drive-by shooting back in late November. News 2's Jordan Ponzio was at the funeral and has more.
A million times we will miss you. A million times we will cry.
Saturday, a child-sized casket was placed at the front of the church where 8-year-old Dylan Daniels laid after he was killed in a drive-by shooting in late November. Family and friends gathered wearing emerald green, the same color Dylan wore in his family Christmas photos before his passing. His grandmother, Erica Rayford, spoke at the service, sharing that his life was not in vain.
I asked you this morning, what are you going to do differently? See, I don't take this lightly when it comes to watching my baby lay in a casket. I don't take life for granted because this is the 3rd born that I'm watching with Cortland and the family. We share a lot together. There's a lot of things that I want to say that I won't say. There's a lot of things that I want to do, but I won't do.
Dylan, also known as Dill Pickle to his friends and family, was killed when over 20 bullets were shot into his mother's car on Swan Avenue. 2 of his siblings were injured and have since been released from the hospital. His neighbor, Miss Tanja, also spoke on all the memories she had with him and his siblings.
I'm just grateful for his life this morning, and my prayer is that his death do not be in vain. That it be a beginning of us as people, as colors, as young men, we stop killing each other. And I'm just grateful this morning for his life and being granted the opportunity to spend the time that I spent with him and his siblings and his cousins.
Jordan Ponzio, WBRZ News 2.
Kendrick Prophet, Yancey Jarrell Jr., and Tremel Harris were arrested and charged with first-degree murder and 5 counts of attempted murder. Now there's still one more shooter out on the loose. That is 19-year-old Roger Parker. He's still on the run.
Good evening, friends. Greg Merriweather here with you. We start with a community reeling from a tragic.
Coming from Erica Rayford, the grandmother of Dylan Daniels, a boy who was recently the victim of a horrific shooting just outside a barbershop on Swan Avenue. He was only 8 years old. The family came together just days later and decided that they needed to honor Dylan in a special way.
We wanted to do something to still remember Dylan, and the siblings were saying it. We was just like, okay, what are we going to do? How are we going to do it?
They decided on a balloon release. The color? Green.
Now, I done told y'all, stop doing them balloon releases. You are hurting the environment, you're trashing the environment, and those balloons are not going to heaven. They're going to float down, they're going to pop, and animals are going to eat them. It's going to kill animals. It's stupid. And even certain states, they have laws about doing balloon releases. Do candles, do something else, but stop doing balloons.
For Dylan, known to those closest to him as Dill Pickle. With all of the support from the many community members, Erica was taken back.
It was overwhelming.
Rayford expressed on behalf of herself and the rest of the family that the support they have received recently has been so important in continuing to move forward.
It makes a lot of difference, especially to us, to the family, knowing and seeing that from law enforcement all the way down to the youngest child coming out to support.
Among the youngest children in attendance were Dylan's siblings, all of them still feeling the mental wounds, and for some, the physical wounds of the incident they suffered alongside their brother. They say they'll miss their best friend. One of his brother's favorite memories? Play fighting.
Play fight.
Was he a better fighter than you were? Ethan Tuttle, WAFB 9 News.
As for the investigation into the shooting, police are still asking any.
Y'all see all that trash that's going into the atmosphere? Look at that. It's just going to go up there, it's going to pop it, it's going to come right down, it's just going to be trash everywhere. Killing wildlife just for no freaking reason.
We're learning more about that deadly drive-by shooting that took the life of an 8-year-old boy and wounded 2 of his siblings. It happened on Swan Avenue in front of a barber shop at the edge of Southern University's campus. News 2's Destiny Beasley describes what he saw.
A day typically filled with Thanksgiving preparations turned into a nightmare for a Baton Rouge family. I spoke with the barber who did everything he could to help the children who ran into his shop bleeding and terrified in the aftermath of the shooting.
Can't really see it, but they still got shots like in the side of the building, like that's right where we be standing at.
Detectives spent Thanksgiving morning canvassing the Scotlandville neighborhood, looking for clues in the shooting that took the life of 8-year-old Dylan Daniels.
Right there, never look at this time the same again.
Baton Rouge police say around 2:20 Wednesday afternoon, Cortland Daniels was driving a Honda Accord with 5 of her children inside when.
And shout out to Tanea for calling us out. Tanea said, how can you have that many kids and be in a Honda Accord? I own a Honda Accord. I even owned one when I was in high school. It seats at best, what, 5 people? 6, 7, 8. So people were sitting on each other's laps. You were doubling up in the passenger's front seat, which is not safe. And I know she asked, she was like, why not like, you know, if you got all this money for all these shoes, again, we're talking about paying for what you want and not what you need. What you needed was a bigger vehicle to accommodate all of those people. A much bigger vehicle, probably like a Suburban if you're talking about 8 humans plus her. That'd be 9. He said she put them in the trunk. No, I would hope not. But you can see they shot at the trunk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 times. Maybe they were in the trunk. I don't know. That's a wild thing.
Someone fired more than 20 shots at the car. Daniels and 2 of his siblings were hit. The family had just left the barbershop when the gunfire began. It continued following Daniels as she made her way around the block and then crashed into a tree near the shop. The injured kids ran back into the barbershop and Dylan Daniels collapsed at barber Braylon Canty's feet.
The little one that didn't make it, like he was sitting like right in front of me. I'm really like holding him. I'm like, I'm on the phone with the ambulance trying to, you know, get some further instructions. And I laid him out. They told me not to have nothing undone. I'm really like with him the whole time. I didn't want to leave him. His mom, she was upset, crying. She asked me, is he gone? I'm telling her no, like, you know, because I'm assuming like he's still showing signs of life. He's still kind of breathing. He still got a pulse or whatever. So I'm telling him, like, you know, he ain't got nothing to worry about.
Shout out to this young man. He is well spoken, very clear, very logical, very thoughtful. Shout out to him. I just thought I would mention that.
Then when I got the news, it crushed me immediately because I felt like I could have did more.
Canty says he hopes the killer or killers feel the weight of their actions.
Real men, or they have any type of remorse for a family or a mother, man, you shouldn't even feel like you should be out here on the streets living freely, knowing that you done took a baby away from their mother. You know what I'm saying? Right before the holidays. They come in here to get prepared to be with their family today on a holiday. Now they got to spend their days in the hospital, planning funerals and all that.
Canty says he wants everyone to feel safe when they come to the shop.
I want people to feel like they can be safe again. Might not be today, might not be next week, but I still want people to feel like they can come here and enjoy themselves and be safe and get fresh.
That's heartbreaking to listen to that. Seems like a young man with his heart in the right place. And just to have a situation like this, I'm pretty sure that would traumatize anybody. But again, to have the real story about what happened, I hate how the family won't actually tell you. And usually you have to do all of these crazy investigations just to figure out a motive. If you at least know the motive, these men are going to end up going to jail for a very long time as it is anyway. The least we can know is why. Was it over drugs? Was it over baby mama, baby daddy drama? Did she run off on the plug? Did she scam somebody like somebody said in the chat earlier? We at least need to know to tell people in the rest of the world as a cautionary tale why this happened and how to prevent this type of thing from happening. Maybe to change your life, maybe to not have this many kids and to have yourself in a situation to where you have to do such detrimental things in order just to make it by. When it comes to earning money or whatever it is, you're saying, well, I'd had to do what I had to do for all my kids. Well, it's that type of stuff that you have to think about after the first and after the second. And then you have to stop and say, if I have to do something crazy to take care of these kids, then maybe I shouldn't continue to keep producing them. Why am I wrong for saying that? I don't think I'm wrong for saying that. And I don't think I'm wrong enough to have my videos constantly taken down, scrutinized, demonetized, and just beaten the mush just for me trying to put out a message that all of us have to do better by our children. I think that's a very simple message. And I know a lot of times people think like, well, you go hard on black people. Well, here's the thing. I go hard on the thing that I care about the most, the thing that I know the most, and the thing that affects me the most, which is people that look like me. I would think that everybody would behave the same way. If people don't understand that, it's because they don't want to understand that. People don't want to understand why white people want to preserve themselves. People don't want to understand why I want to preserve my black self and my black family and my black community, and ask us to stop being our own worst enemies. To Dylan, young Prince, that could have grown up to become something very, very special. R.I.P. He has a lot of siblings, a lot of family members, and all you can do is just hope that they don't end up going down the same route and have bad stuff happen to them. So keep them in your prayers. As far as the mother, she knows the real story. Will she come out and speak up and say something? That's to be seen, but they wanted her dead. Change your life. This might be a good opportunity and a good reason to stop whatever you're doing and go a different direction. The story coming out of Florida, it's very short, but it's very impactful because we're talking about this thing and this word, and this might be the theme of this month, which is babies for benefits. Hashtag babies for benefits is a phrase that I created because I believe that there are too many people out there who only either have or get custody of children, like I believe this person did, to only take advantage of them, right? And what she did absolutely deserves a life sentence. To put children in the worst position possible is inexcusable, and I don't think anybody should be making excuses talking about their mental health or anything like that. All right, let's go. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. And I'm getting this from news4jax.com. So thank you for the article. An Ohio mother of 3 is now facing 3 counts of child abuse after Nassau County deputies said that she left her, and that's a her, I'm sorry. I am sorry, but does that look like a her to y'all? I honestly believe, I was like, I wonder what this young man did to these kids. That's literally what I thought. I'm just like, goodness gracious, man, if you didn't have a stronger face, old Clado looking face, like your face was carved out of wood. That looks like a dude, a guy, right? I did not know initially that this was a woman until I read the article. I was like, well, damn, I guess so. Nonetheless, allegedly 44 years old, by the way, this person left her 3 young children by themselves at a Florida welcome center. So with Tanya Perez being 44 years old, I'm wondering how many of y'all are going to come out and say that this person, when she was young, yous don't know what she was going through. And her mental illness, y'all, she was mentally ill and she didn't have no support. Her family wasn't there, y'all. Anybody want to come up with an excuse for this? Listen to how stupid this story is. Out of Ohio is where she's from, but this was in Yulee, Florida. Tanya Perez, 44 years old, of Ohio, was extradited to Florida Wednesday when she was arrested on a warrant for child abuse. The charges stem from an incident in March of last year after a Nassau County deputy warned Perez not to leave her 3 children at the Florida Welcome Center on Interstate 95, which is just south of Florida-Georgia state line. All 3 of the children were under the age of 13 years old, which I think it makes it worse, and I think that that means you need even more time in prison. It should be worse. Now, according to the arrest warrant affidavit on March 22nd of 2023, and y'all wonder why was it that long ago? Jay normally does more recent stories. She just got arrested. All of this is just now starting to come out because she ran and she hid and she was ducking the laws, ducking the law, ducking the law. On Nassau County deputy was dispatched to the Welcome Center for a wellness check after Perez's estranged sister in Kissimmee, Florida, told authorities that she received a text message from Perez stating that Perez was traveling to Florida from Ohio with her 3 children ages 9, 10, and 12 years old. She said she feared her sister was going to leave the children at the Welcome Center by themselves and then drive back to Ohio. The warrant states that when the deputy arrived at the Welcome Center, he located Perez's SUV with her and the children still inside, according to the deputy. The children appeared to be okay. And I want y'all to keep in mind, he found them. Now listen at this. News4JAX crime and safety analyst Tom Hackney weighed in on the incident. Things could have happened to the little ones that were there without food, money, or the ability to care for themselves, he said. The warrant also states that the deputy explained to Perez while he was called to the Welcome Center to conduct a welfare check and asked if she was going to wait at the center until her sister arrived to take the children. The deputy said Perez told him she was going to wait. Hours after the deputy left the Welcome Center, 911 dispatch received a call about Perez's 3 young children sitting in the Welcome Center lobby by themselves with their bags. Those are not the kids, but that is to symbolize the kids, which is why we didn't show their faces. That's not the kids, but it's just to kind of give you an idea of how sad and scary that is. She asked the employee if it was okay to leave them there for a little while, which is a red flag. She came in and talked to one of our representatives and asked if she could leave the kids. They would only be here for a few minutes, a Welcome Center employee told News4JAX. According to the warrant, the oldest child told the deputy that her mom said she had to go and then left them alone with no cell phone to contact a relative and no money to purchase food. We ended up calling the sheriff's office. We felt so bad for them, the employee said. Nobody came for the kids. These little kids by themselves had suitcases, and it was insane. Authorities eventually got in touch with the children's biological father, who said Perez had full custody of the children and that he was not aware that she and the children had moved to Ohio. Y'all know where I'm going with this, right? We'll read that again. They got in touch with the biological father because clearly somebody was in the mood to have sex with this person. Not once, not twice, but at least 3 times that we know of on record, and produced 3 children. And they got into contact with this person who had full custody of these kids. And he said that he was not made aware that she had moved to Ohio. So here's the crazy part. People like this who have babies for benefits will give their children to anybody. They will give their children to the system. They will give their children to a fire station. They will give their children to police. They'll give their children to family members. They'll give their children to their boyfriends. They will give their children to the cartels. They will give their children to sex traffickers. They will give their children to anybody on planet Earth except, the biological parents. Ain't that a bitch? If y'all agree with me, please hit that thumbs up. Share this video. They will go out of their way to give their children to anybody except the person who helped and gave the seed to create these kids, which makes more sense to give the children to the biological father. And thank y'all for hitting that heart emoji. Thank you. I seen that, right? These people who not only helped create the kids, who are probably willing to accept the kids in if you give up custody, right? But statistics actually prove, even if he is a single father, that single fathers, by record, by statistic, do pretty damn good by their children. How about that? What is up to the Raven in the building? I see you and Save Our Children TV. Shout out to y'all. Thank you, thank you. Brian Watt, thank you. Christy, thank you. Asia, thank you. All of you guys. Statistics actually prove that single fathers do pretty good by the kids. So why is it that they go above and beyond to avoid the man who is right in front of their face to give the custody to them, which the kids will probably be safer, rather than giving your kids up to the Florida Welcome Center and just said, fuck it, and left them? Oh, I would love for some apologists to come out and explain that. That's why this is actually my second feature story, because you had to go above and beyond stupid. That's another hashtag of the AFC. Let's write that down. If somebody's out there taking notes, let's take notes. It's starting to get a little warm in here. These people want to go. I'm going to write that down. I like that. I'm saving that. These people go above and beyond stupid. If y'all not going to write it down, I'm going to write it down. That's going to be a new hashtag. I'm seriously writing this down. These people go above and beyond stupid. Bing! How about that? Because how else can you explain this? The apologists who want to tell me that eyes don't know what she was going through and email me and, leave all these stupid ass comments trying to explain her reasoning for doing this. They quote, "What's going on with this mom's mind to leave her 3 children here on this very recognizable corridor that has been known for years as a hub for human trafficking? Do y'all think that she got paid money, babies for benefits, cha-ching, to leave those kids there and to be picked up and be taken off into sex trafficking and then act like she don't know what happened?" Let me say that again. What's going on with this mom's mind to leave her 3 children on this very recognizable corridor that has been known for years as a hub for human trafficking? And you went out of your way to take your kids to this place. It's one thing to abandon your kids. It's another thing to abandon them where they maybe become victims of something else, sex trafficking. That's what we know it is. Days after the children were left by themselves, a warrant was issued for Perez's arrest. A Nassau County Sheriff's Office spokesperson told News4Jax it took this long to arrest Perez because authorities could not find her. Perez was booked into the Nassau County Jail on a $300,000 bond. Why give her a bond at all? If you give her anything, should have gave her $1 million bond. But before we get into the details, let me give you a disclaimer before I show you the news videos. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. See, here's the thing, Christy. You said she's hoping a predator was around. No, I believe that she knew that there was somebody supposed to be coming to pick these kids up. And I don't think it was her sister. I don't think it was her sister at all. I think that is made up. And I think that it was a sex trafficker that was supposed to come pick the kids up. And they were probably scared because she probably told them, hey, I think the police have been out here, or the police have been out here. You might want to watch yourself. So I think that she tipped them off, which is why the kids didn't get picked up. Y'all do me a favor and hit that thumbs up and share this story so more people can see it, because otherwise the story would have got just swept right under the rug.
Tonight on the 10 o'clock news, this Ohio mother is now sitting in a Nassau County jail cell Deputies say she left her 3 young children by themselves at a Florida welcome center. An employee who was there when it happened is speaking with News 4 Jax.
I cannot even begin to imagine a mother dropping her children off at a welcome center.
Hey, that mom is now facing 3 counts of child abuse.
She was captured by authorities in Ohio, then extradited to Florida. News 4 Jax reporter Eric Avignon joins us live with more on this case. Eric.
Well, Joy, that incident happened back in March of last year when authorities say that mom and her 3 children drove down here to Florida from Ohio. Now, they say that it took this long to arrest the mom because they had a difficult time trying to find her. Investigators say that on the morning of March 22nd of last year, a Nassau County deputy was dispatched to this Florida welcome center to conduct a welfare check on 44-year-old Tanya Perez and her 3 young children. The welfare check came after 911 dispatch received a call from Perez's sister in Kissimmee, who told authorities her estranged sister was traveling to Florida with her kids and that she feared her sister would leave the children by themselves at the...
Her estranged sister, when the biological father was right there, to the point that you could have got in touch with him. The news did, but your estranged sister, don't that sound like bullshit? What do y'all want to bet that estranged sister don't even exist? Why would you leave your kids with an estranged sister, which means you don't know her and don't know what the hell she on, haven't done any research to know what a house looked like, what she got going on, or anything like that? Does that not sound hella suspicious? It sounds like a lie to me.
Welcome center and then traveled back to Ohio. When the deputy arrived, he located Perez and her 3 children in their parked SUV. He explained to Perez why he was here conducting a welfare check. Investigators say Perez assured the deputy that she would stay with the children until her sister picked them up. But hours after the deputy left the welcome center, employees here had to call 911 after they realized Perez had left her 3 children here by themselves and never came back. An employee who asked that we not use her name on air says she was here when it happened. She says after the deputy left, Perez ran inside with the kids and asked if it would be okay if she could leave the children inside the building for a few minutes. The staff agreed to watch the kids as long as it would only be for a few minutes. But minutes turned into hours, and then...
We ended up calling the sheriff's deputy and, or some of the reps here did, and it was...
Now, I'm just curious, for those listening right now, there's a commentary channel. That's why I keep stopping the video. Because if y'all came to watch the news, then just go watch the news. This ain't a news channel. It's a commentary channel. But nonetheless, don't y'all think that they waited way too long talking about a couple of hours and then they called the police? The second that she left those kids there, I would have been... 911, what is your emergency? Yeah, this manly looking woman said that she was going to leave her kids here for a few minutes. I know she just left like 15 seconds ago, but I still want y'all to get down here and come check on these kids because I think she's about to abandon these kids and she ain't coming back. And she already, yep, she just left the parking lot. Yep, she's driving out in a SUV or whatever the hell the car is. Yeah, I think y'all might want to come on down here. Yeah, I know she left just about... It's now been about 27 seconds ago. Not 2 hours. What the boy? What? 2 hours? 2 hours? Are you guys not parents? Are y'all that level of dumb? These people have to be above and beyond stupid. 2 hours, really? Come on, man. Y'all can't be that level of dumb.
Just, I mean, you felt so bad for them.
Did anyone come for the kids?
No, nobody came for the kids. And they had these, think about this. Here.
I'm telling y'all, I would have gave her 13, 15 seconds. The second you would have walked past the threshold of that door, bloop, 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 bloop. 911, what is your emergency? I would have been on snitching. I'm snitching. Screw you. I'm not giving you a moment. I'm snitching.
Here they are, these little kids, and there's bags. I mean, just suitcases.
And they're just
all
by
around
themselves.
By themselves. It was insane.
No cell phone to contact a relative,
nothing.
no money to purchase food. So you guys actually fed them.
Yeah.
People that do this really, truly need to be held responsible.
Retired JSO Director of Investigations turned News4JAX crime and safety analyst Tom Hackney says a welcome center on I-95 is the worst place for children to be left unattended because the I-95 corridor is known for human trafficking.
Unknown things going to happen to her little ones that are there without food, without money, without the ability to care for themselves. It's one thing to abandon your kids, but it's another thing to abandon them where they may become victims of something else.
These kids somebody could have grabbed them. Anybody can come. You don't know who's going to walk in here and what their intentions are.
Now, investigators say the mom drove back to Ohio after leaving her kids here in Florida. It's unclear if those kids are now with their biological father or another relative, or if they are in protective custody still at this point. Their mom remains in the Nassau County Jail on a $300,000 bond. Reporting.
Well, yes, and bloop, 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 bloop. Yes, indeed. I'm going to tell y'all, you said it's a good thing that they fed the kids. I'm going to tell y'all something. I would have caught them police so fast, they wouldn't have had time to swallow any of their food before the police got there. I would have called and snitched so fast. They wouldn't have had time to place an Uber Eats order. They wouldn't have had time to go to McDonald's across the street. Even if it was in the next center over, I would have been on the phone with the police so damn fast. That's ridiculous. They would have been getting food after the police got there. But nonetheless, I just think that our parental instincts need to be heightened just a bit more than that to realize after 2 hours, now it's time to call the damn authorities. But nonetheless, this type of person didn't care whether her children lived or died. You should have just gave them to the biological father. But why didn't you? It's beyond me. But nonetheless, I hope he gets custody and I hope he does right by those kids. Because if he don't and he end up on my channel, on my show, we're going to be advocating for a life sentence for people who hurt, murder, and abuse and put children in these type of positions. I think they need maximum life sentences, okay? But thank y'all for listening. Do me a favor. Make this story go viral. Thank you.